Joining us now, Lesley LeMasurier's is one of Dr. Kelly's patients. By 18 years old, she'd already experienced 4 concussions. One was the result of a car accident. The others were caused by her sport of choice, alpine ski racing. Lesley, how did you get started in skiing?
Well, actually, my whole family learned to ski about the same time. I was about 6 years old, and it was just something different that we wanted to try, and we all enjoyed it, and we started skiing full-time at Wintergreen Resort down in Virginia.
And so what did you like about it?
I just liked that it was different and challenging and fast, and it was all around very fun, and I just really enjoyed it.
Now, to those of us who aren't skiers, ski racing seems so out of control. I mean, was fear a part of the process for you?
Not when I was younger. When I was a little kid, it was just so much fun, and I loved it. And as I got older and started crashing more and more often, there was a little fear involved, but for the most part, as a kid, I was just loved doing it.
So how did you feel about the crashing part in the early days?
It was just part of the sport, really. It was just something that came along with the sport. You're going to fall if you're going to go at high speeds, and so I wasn't too scared of it. It just, when I started injuring myself, that's when there was a little more fear involved.
Now tell us about your very first concussion.
My first concussion actually was in preseason training. We played soccer a lot, and it actually came about during a soccer game. I took a knee to the side of the head, and it was a mild concussion. I didn't lose consciousness, but I was very dazed and confused, and I just had a headache, and so I was out for about a week out of training.
So any other lasting effects from that one?
Not really. Nothing. I mean, I had a headache, but they all sort of went away, and I went back to training.
Okay, now you experienced 2 more concussions. What were doctors telling you and your parents?
Not a whole lot, actually. My parents knew nothing about the brain or brain injury, and they were actually in Virginia. I was in Vermont going to school at the time, so they were kind of at a distance, and the doctors just said, you know, be careful. And
that was it.
It wasn't, you know, skiing isn't a careful sport.
Right. Tell us, if you would, about the crash that you experienced when you were training with the U.S. ski team.
It was a fairly major crash. I had actually been dealing with symptoms for about 2 years. I had migraines and was having a hard time sleeping and trouble focusing, and basically I just crashed so much I actually had a broken leg and some torn ligaments in my other leg at that time when I entered the race, but I was just pressured to basically compete and perform, and I was unsteady on my left side and lost my balance and tore through 3 safety nets and barreled into the woods, and when I stood up, my helmet was in 2 pieces at my side.
My stars. Now, you said you felt pressure. You felt a lot of pressure from your teammates, pressure from yourself?
All around. I mean, there was pressure from every angle, really, from coaches, teammates, you know, family members.
Did you tell them that you weren't feeling well?
It was actually something I sort of protected. I was a little bit in denial about the way that I was feeling, and you don't want to every day say that you feel sick, because you're going to start sounding like you're a complainer or making it up. So I just kind of protected that, you know, how bad I was actually feeling.
Mm-hmm. And what was going on in your mind during all this time?
That's when the fear started to really creep in, I think, because I couldn't explain, you know, what I was feeling to myself. I had migraines, my heart rate was very high, and I was having trouble seeing, my eyes hurt, couldn't read without getting a migraine.
Now you said your heart rate was high. How did that manifest itself?
Well, during training we would train with heart rate monitors on when we were, you know, running or any type of workout on land. We would wear heart rate monitors and work out in zones, and I basically couldn't stay in the zone. I just was so much higher than all my teammates and was not recovering.
Now let me ask you this. You wear a heart monitor to check your heart. If the rate of your heartbeat goes up high, that's a problem, right?
Right.
And did anybody else know that?
It was discussed, but they just thought because of the other injuries that maybe I was just out of shape. And
you were out of shape. Okay. I'm going to move on past that one. I think you said about no blood, no break, keep going, and that's what you did.
Right, the pressure, when the pressure's on, I mean, just basically there's no blood, no break, I'm going to keep going, period. That's what athletes do. They push through adversity and push through the pain and just try to
And that's what you did?
Correct.
Did you win?
I didn't.
Okay.
I ended in MRI scans and just in the hospital, basically.